Hi students, in this unit we're going to be learning about air pressure and how it relates to weather. So as you know, last week we built a barometer. There's a note-taking sheet that goes with this video that I want you to be filling out. I will try to porch drop it to the majority of you tomorrow, and then you can fill in those notes and have them for when you return to school. So this is what the page looks like right here. So you're going to be filling this out and taking notes. And I have uploaded a copy of this Word document to Canvas or sent it to your parents in the email. If you don't have a printer or I wasn't able to porch drop to you, you can always just write the sentences on a lined piece of paper and bring that back to class with you. So air pressure is all around you all the time. It's pushing on you from the sides, the top to bottom, but we don't really notice that it's even there. Our bodies notice it when there's a great change in air pressure. For example, when you're taking off on an airplane and you feel your ears pop, or you're driving with your family in a car high up over a mountain. So there are three major things that affect air pressure that you need to really know. One is water vapor, so how much moisture is in the air. The second one is temperature. So a change in temperature, if it gets warmer, the pressure goes down. When it gets cooler, the pressure goes up. You're going to see a couple of experiments with an egg in a bottle, a balloon in a bottle, and a candle under a jar that will demonstrate what happens when we change the temperature inside somewhere and how that affects air pressure and altitude, like we talked about with the airplane. So how high or low you are. So if you go up a big mountain, the pressure gets lower, and as you come down, the pressure gets higher. So on your paper, you're going to fill in those three things. So right here, we have water vapor, temperature, and altitude. Now, air pressure is also known by two different names. Those other names are atmospheric pressure and barometric pressure. So when you're reading a text or a test question or maybe just an article, sometimes they will refer to air pressure by those two other different names. I remember atmospheric by atmosphere, pressure in the atmosphere, which is essentially the same thing as air pressure. And then barometric pressure, I remember that by barometer is the tool that you use to measure air pressure. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the relationship between warm air and cold air and air pressure. So we learned about a convection current in our unit about matter, right? So convection current is just heat transfer through the rise of warm air and the dropping of cool air. So if we think about our convection current in the sky, here's your next keywords on your worksheet. Warm air rises, creating a low pressure zone, and cool air sinks, creating a high pressure zone. So if we look at our example right here, here's our warm air going up, the pressure is low, sometimes this is associated with storms, and then here's our convection current, the air cools off, it goes back down, high pressure is associated with clear skies and sunny air. So here's your keywords up here. Now another key point that has to do with air pressure and convection currents is density. So remember, density is how close together the atoms or molecules in a substance are. So as air pressure increases, so does the density, meaning as the pressure goes up, those molecules are more closely compacted together, and then things that are less dense are going to weigh less and float more. If you think about a container of oil and water, the oil is less dense, so it's going to float on top of the water in a container. So the same thing happens with warm and cool air. The warm air rises in the convection current and floats up in the sky. Then as you go up in elevation, the temperature drops, that air cools down, becomes more dense, maybe picks up some water droplets and falls back down to the ground, and you have that cycle. Now let's talk about your forecast skills and some symbols you're going to need to be able to look at a map and decide what's happening on that weather map. So a tool used to measure air pressure is your barometer. Those are usually, they have a gauge. The professional ones are little ones that we built for our weather station, where the jars with the needle and the straw that we put over by the sink. Looking at a weather map, high pressure areas are marked with a capital blue H, and low pressure areas are marked with a capital red L. So H stands for high pressure, L stands for low pressure. Now if you notice these interesting lines right here, these are different weather fronts, and sometimes you're going to see a low pressure symbol associated with some type of weather front. So this is the path in which it's moving. So when I have pressure that is dropping, dropping pressure indicates there could be some sort of storm system. When I have pressure that is rising, that typically means that the weather the next day is going to be clear skies. So for example, we looked at our class barometers, and we draw a dot. So we drew a dot on Friday, and we came into class this morning, and in first period, the barometer had gone way up. The pressure had gone up, and we had clear skies today. Then in the afternoon, the pressure started dropping, and if you look at the forecast, we're supposed to have at least a little bit of snow through the night. And so that's an indication we're going to have some level of precipitation. So if we go back to our weather map, and I were to ask you what type of weather is Utah and Idaho going to experience, what would you say? It has a high pressure system, so you would say there that we're going to have clear skies or clear weather. Now if we come down here and we look at Texas and Oklahoma, and I asked you what type of weather are they going to have over Texas and Oklahoma in the next 24 hours, you would say some sort of weather system, because we have a low pressure zone, and notice it lines right up with this cold front line that's going across it. So looking back at our notes, air pressure on a weather map is measured with a capital blue H for high and a capital red L for low pressure. Now going back and talking about our convection current above the ocean, the air above the sea has relatively higher, that's your first blank, pressure, causing air near the coast, your next blank, to flow towards the lower pressure over land. Okay, so now if we look at a diagram of this, we talked about today how land heats and cools quickly, whether it's sand, cement, just land in general, and water heats and cools more slowly. Think about in the summer when you've gone to the swimming pool. If it's a hot day, you take off your shoes, you touch the cement or the sand, it's really hot, you run very quickly, put your feet in the water, the water feels nice and cool. On the flip side, at nighttime, you'll notice that the land or the sand feels cooler than the water. The water will hold on to some of the heat longer. So if we look at our diagram right here, so the land is really hot, the warm air rises, we've got low pressure, down here, higher pressure up here, it's going to go out over the ocean, okay? Then it's the opposite on this side, over the water, we've got lower pressure up here, higher pressure down here, and then it blows back in over the land. So we've got this convection current. All right, I want you to keep these notes with you. The next thing you're going to be doing is watching some videos on some experiments we're going to be doing in class this week, and there are several other papers that you're going to need for that. So if you are watching the online version of the Air Pressure Labs at home, you're going to need the sheet. Lab number 1 is called Air Pressure All Around Us. Lab number 2 is called The Relationship Between Air Pressure and Temperature. And lab number 3 is called changing air pressure with heat. So you're going to watch the second video, which is a combined version of all 3 of the experiments we'll be doing in class this week, and then fill out the lab sheets as you watch the video and bring all 4 of these papers back to school with you. All right, students, have a great day.